Okay, we could start. Maybe we can let them all in. Maybe Georgina, once I start sharing, you could just keep adding and anyone in. Hello, everyone. Welcome, welcome. We will be starting in like about a minute or so. So grab your lunch, late lunch, your tea or coffee or juice. Um, and we are grateful to have you join our Zoom workshop or presentation on the Cal State Long Beach teacher preparation programs that we offer. Right. Nicole, do you have any housekeeping rules for the conference for for anything regarding Teach for LA?
No, welcome all and everyone. At the end of today's session, just remember to put your name in for the raffle drawing since you participated in day one, and we are so excited to have you. Thanks for taking an hour out of your day to join us.
Thank you, Nicole. All right, so let me share my screen. Um, I'm sure that these presentations will be shared with all those who attended um, on this session later on. So let me go from there and present. Okay. So again, welcome everyone. My name is Wendy Muzien. I work at the College of Education at Cal State Long Beach as the outreach and recruitment coordinator for the whole college. So I will be here today to share more about our different teacher preparation programs from our undergraduate options to our post-baccalaureate options as well. And I also have joining with me my colleague Georgina, so I'll have her introduce herself.
Hi everyone, my name is Georgina Ramirez. I'm the PK3 advisor and outreach specialist. I work alongside Wendy as well, and I'm from the College of Ed at Long Beach.
Great. So today we're going to learn more about the different ways to become a teacher. Um, if you would like to share in the chat what grade level or what kind of teacher you're hoping to become, a multiple subject teacher, high school teacher, a preschool teacher. I myself worked at a nonprofit as an ESL teacher back in the day before I jumped into higher education and started working at the community colleges and then at the CSUs. But I have taught older adults English as a second language in a variety of nonprofits in Los Angeles, which has been a great joy for me. So I'm hoping to go back into that later on in my career when I am ready to jump back to that area. So feel free to share in the chat what kind of teacher you're planning to be, or what type of credential you're hoping to pursue. And if you have any questions, feel free to add them in the chat as well. We'll pause at different moments of the presentation just to ask for questions, or to check in the chat if anyone has any questions or of anything. Okay. So here at Cal State Long Beach, we have a variety of teacher preparation programs, and I will go through each one but first I'm going to have a snapshot of um, an overview by the numbers of our College of Education. So our College of Education is one of the largest colleges within all of the 23 CSU systems. We currently have about 2,400 students who are either going through our undergraduate major, credential programs, our master's program, and we also offer a doctoral program in educational leadership. We are ranked number one in the CSUs to issue the most teaching credential programs, initial credentials such as becoming a multiple subject teacher, special education, single subject credential teacher, and advanced credentials, and that is a credential in administration to become a principal, or also the PPS credentials to work as counselors in K-12 settings. Our goal is to always provide scholarship money to all of our students. We currently awarded $450,000 in scholarships to make sure that our students, especially our credential students who are in the classroom during the day, cannot really go to work the typical day jobs because they have to do observations or student teach. So we provide as many scholarships as possible with the help of a lot of our great donors in the area of Long Beach to support students, especially when they are going through their student teaching semester, or for some students, their student teaching year. So we provide them financial support to get through those semesters. And we award, especially within our faculty, a lot of grants. We place many students. Yesterday, I heard that within our Office of Clinical Practice, they placed about 800 students or so in their student teaching classrooms this past semester. And that's a combination of students pursuing their single subject credential, their multiple subject credential, their education specialist credential, for some both, and then for other of our master programs who are pursuing placements at the school districts to get um, practice in working with K to 12 students as school psychologists or school counselors. And of course, we have 50,000 plus alumni. So I'm sure if you met a teacher, most likely they came through CSULB at some point in their career to obtain their credentials, their master's, or even their doctoral program or their bachelor's degree. Now, applying to CSULB, as an undergraduate student, you could apply to us either coming straight out of high school, of course, as a first-time first-year student, and those students have to meet the minimum GPA of a 2.5, um, go through complete all their A through G requirements at the high school level, and meet the minimum CSULB eligibility index to be considered for admissions. Other students that may come in from the transfer route from either Long Beach Community College or Cerritos College or East Los Angeles College, there's the transfer route where students must have a minimum of 60 transferable semester units, a minimum of a 2.4 GPA within all their transferable courses, be in good standing, and either obtain um, all of their transferable units through their major specific requirements, or most students are able to obtain the associate's degree for transfer or the ADT to transfer to Cal State Long Beach and pursue the rest of the units to obtain their bachelor's degree. Now, one thing that I didn't add here are students who already have a bachelor's degree. They just go through CSU Apply applications and choose the teaching credential they're planning to pursue. And they go through the prerequisites, they go through their main courses, and then lastly, they go through their student teaching course, which is usually a year and a half full for the whole teaching credential program. But there are different avenues for students to apply to CSULB depending on where they are currently standing. Now, within Cal State Long Beach, there are a variety of bachelor's degrees students can pursue. And traditionally, in order to become a teacher, you go and obtain a bachelor's degree in something, and then go through a teacher preparation program at a four-year university or university that's accredited, and then pass the state exams, submit everything to the state of California, and then you are a credentialed teacher. Here at Cal State Long Beach, we have a variety of majors that are very popular for our students in the undergraduate level who already know that they want to become either a high school teacher, an elementary school teacher, special education teacher. So we encourage them to pursue one of these bachelor's degree. So for example, if someone wants to be an art teacher, then we have a bachelor's degree in art education, and that allows students to obtain the content knowledge that they need to be an art teacher. We also have child development for those that want to work in early childhood in the PK to 3 setting, English education, and of course, one of our main undergraduate programs that we offer specifically within the College of Education is liberal studies, which is a bachelor's degree that prepares our elementary teachers, elementary school teachers, and special education teachers. So dive into more about those different pathways for students that transfer or pursue their bachelor's degree here. But whatever your bachelor's degree may be in, rest assured that as long as you meet all the main requirements and go through a teaching credential program, you will be able to become a teacher. So for example, my background is in psychology. So I have a bachelor's degree in psychology. But if I wanted to return or come back to Cal State Long Beach or any university to become a teacher, I can do so. I just apply to the credential of my choice and then meet any exams I have to take the courses I will need to take, and then go through the whole program itself. Now, liberal studies. This is our one and only undergraduate major that we oversee at Cal State Long Beach within the College of Education. So liberal studies is the bachelor's degree that prepares students to teach elementary school. For some of you or some folks that are at the community college level, this major is known as elementary education. So these students transfer to CSULB and they transfer into our liberal studies bachelor's degree option. So this allows the students to gain all the content knowledge they need to teach kindergarten up to 8th grade through the liberal studies bachelor's degree. Now, within the liberal studies major at CSULB, there are two main pathways, and then from there, more specific pathways. But students in the liberal studies major are allowed to either focus on getting their bachelor's degree, graduate, and then reapply either to Cal State Long Beach or another institution to pursue their teaching credential of choice. In this case, our liberal studies students go on and pursue their multiple subject teaching credential to teach kindergarten to 8th grade, or their special education teaching credential. And that's it. So they could just obtain their bachelor's degree and then go on into the teaching credential as a post-baccalaureate program. However, some of our students, and we have a good majority of our students pursuing the integrative teacher education pathway, or ITEP. So this is liberal studies ITEP pathway, where students get to choose from a variety of pathways if they want to add on a multiple subject credential, a special education credential, or even both to their already coursework of bachelor's degree program courses under liberal studies. So let me go on to the next slide to explain a little bit more what this means. So an integrated pathway, we are bringing in the teaching credential courses, the student teaching component of these credential programs into the bachelor's degree pathway for our liberal studies students. So traditionally, within an extra year, they're able to pursue either their multiple subject teaching credential, their education specialist credential, even their urban dual credential program, which is both multiple subject and special education credential, and even add on what we call a bilingual authorization, which I'll explain shortly. So these liberal studies students, they're undergraduate students pursuing their bachelor's degree and a credential. So when they officially graduate from CSULB, they are obtaining up to 3 different degrees at the same time. And they're already prepared to now go into the workforce, go into the school districts, and be the teacher of the classroom. So within the pathway, this is only available for our liberal study majors. So if you are coming to Cal State Long Beach as an undergraduate student pursuing your bachelor's degree, if you are under our liberal studies major, then you are able to choose within any of these 4 main options. If you are in a different major, such as child development or psychology, or sociology. Unfortunately, this is not available at the undergraduate level for those students, but these are available at the post-bac level, which means the students just need to complete their bachelor's degree first, graduate, and then return and go through the credential program separately. So this allows students in our liberal studies pathway to have and pursue their credentials early on, at a lower cost tuition-wise, because there's a tuition difference between undergraduate and post-bac, which is about $400 difference or so. And they're able to complete everything quickly. So for example, our multiple subject pathways, it's 136 units for both the BA plus credential. Our education specialist, which is special education, that's the official title for that pathway. It's 120 units because they really condense all the courses. So within the bachelor's degree and the special education credential, they could also complete it within 4 to 5 years. Our urban dual credential program, so the blue block here in the bottom, this allows students to obtain a multiple subject teaching credential and special education credential together. So this is a 2-year cohort program where students in liberal study or at the post-baccalaureate level can apply to. And in 2 years, they go through a year of coursework at an elementary school site at either Long Beach Unified School District, Garden Grove Unified School District, and Little Lake Unified School District. And then their second year is fully student teaching. 1 semester student teaching in a general education classroom for the multiple subject credential, and then another semester student teaching for a special education classroom. And once they graduate, they get 2 credentials plus their bachelor's degree. And all of this can be done in 135 units, which is about 5 years, because it is a set 2-year program where everyone goes through the program in that cohort together for 2 years. This is beneficial for many students because they are already working at an elementary school. Actually, this program plus another different program just obtained a grant where they are able to provide financial support for some of the students. So they could get financial support during their student teaching. So they get stipends and money to help them while they're going through their student teaching year of working at a school site. And then this type of program, the Urban Dual Credential Program, also has, since they have partnerships with these 3 different school districts, they find ways for their current students to have jobs at the school site. So you're not just there doing free stuff, but being able to work as an aide. If you have a bachelor's degree already, get your substitute permit so you could be the sub in those school sites. Or if you could work as any other part-time work so that you could continue to have that support, experience, networking in that school site as well. With all of these teaching credentials, the ones I've just mentioned, you could add on a bilingual authorization. So this allows the teacher candidate to be able to add a Spanish authorization, Vietnamese, Korean, Chinese Mandarin, where they're able to teach in a dual immersion classroom. So it's, for example, in LAUSD, which is the area where I live in, I live specifically in Gardena. The elementary schools in my area are actually promoting their Korean dual immersion program because there's a higher population of Koreans and Japanese in that area. So Korean is one of the dual immersion. So I'm assuming they're hiring multiple subject teachers, and if they have that bilingual authorization, even better. So they could support the students that will learn in English and Korean. So this allows the students, if you teach Spanish and English, Korean English, Vietnamese English, to work in those type of settings. And then we do have the PK3 credential officially, but they are working now on doing an integrated pathway for the PK3 credential, which is why it says it's coming soon. But right now we do have the full-on PK3 credential that's done after you have a bachelor's degree, which we'll talk about later. Georgina will talk about that. But they are currently working now on the integrated pathway so that our undergraduate students, specifically probably child development, could have the opportunity to add on the PK3 credential while pursuing their bachelor's degree. So our faculty are working, and hopefully they could get that within the next year or two. Now, if you're a student that is not in liberal studies and are in sociology or another different major, or already have a bachelor's degree and are returning to Cal State Long Beach just to obtain your teaching credential, then you'll just obtain your teaching credential through the post-baccalaureate way. So you're just applying to the credential on its own, meeting with our advisors, um, getting your bachelor's degree cleared to see if that meets content knowledge, or if you have to take any extra exams like the CSET exams for the state if you don't have the content knowledge in your bachelor's degree. And then you go through the credential to obtain your teaching credential. And we have the same ones that we've talked about for the integrated pathway. We have our multiple subject credential, which is 40 units, so a year and a half. It could be done in a year and a half. Our education specialist credential, our urban dual credential program, which is a 2-year program, so 4 semesters. And then, of course, our PK3 credential, which is 45 units, so it could be done in 3 semesters or a year and a half. And then we also have our single subject credential, which is in the next slides over. And I'll talk more about how to become a middle school or high school teacher. But with all of these credentials you see on the screen, you could definitely add on a bilingual authorization. We also offer science authorization, math authorization. So if you want to add on a math authorization, for example, so that you could, maybe you're a multiple subject teacher, but you enjoy math, but not willing to commit so far to teach math in the high school setting, but you could add a math authorization, which is an extra courses and allows you to teach basic, I think, introductory math, algebra, stuff like that in the middle school setting. So that allows students to be more marketable, to really showcase their knowledge and being able to find different job opportunities at different school districts. So bilingual authorizations are much more popular now because there are a high need of dual immersion classrooms and teachers. But you could add on different authorizations. See them as like a certificate that you attach to your um, credential, your teaching credential. So then you're showcasing to the districts that you have more knowledge in math or science or the specific language or social science in that area. And all of that could be done. Some teachers maybe return just to add on an authorization. Others, they try to include it during their regular school load of as they're pursuing their teaching credential. A good thing about all of these credential is all the classes are in the evenings after 4 o'clock. We have a variety of in-person classes, hybrid classes, and fully online classes. These programs are not fully online, but they're a combination of hybrid. So some online classes, some in-person as well, but they're not fully online. There's still some form of in-person interaction and classes with our faculty. Someone did ask in the chat about Spanish 101. No, so the classes you'll take for the bilingual authorization are actual classes in how to teach, for example, mathematics and Spanish, like how to integrate the idea of teaching in a different language in elementary school. However, taking these Spanish 101 or those type of classes will help you practice your Spanish because you do have a verbal interview with the faculty of advisor in that language. So I really encourage any language classes you could take within your coursework that could help you practice your Spanish will greatly help. But the 2 extra units are mostly units to help you how to teach in the bilingual classroom, which is different than, for example, the how to teach in an elementary school setting. Then you take extra classes in how to teach as a bilingual teacher. Well, that's a great question. But if you could practice the language you're using, that will help you a lot. And of course, during your student teaching semester, if you do complete all the requirements of the authorization by the time you reach their student teaching semester, then they place you at a school site and in a classroom that's dual immersion. So you could actually get that experience as well. All right, so I'm going to hand on the baton to Georgina so she could talk more about the PK3 credential.
Thank you, Wendy. Hi, everyone. So I'm excited to share more about this new credential with you all. For those who may not know, This is a new credential. It was approved by the Commission on Teacher Credentialing early last year, and lots of institutions have been working on their preparation program. We received approval for our PK3 preparation program in February. So we will be beginning our program in fall this year. So we're very excited to start offering this program to students. As Wendy mentioned, it is a post-bac program. We are working on offering an integrated program as well as internship opportunities in the future. And the full title of this credential is the PK3 Early Childhood Education Specialist Instruction Credential. It's a very long title, but very exciting that now educators who want to focus on those early grade levels can get a credential. So any holders with the PK3 credential are authorized to teach in preschool, TK, transitional kindergarten, first grade, second grade, and third grade in self general education classrooms, so in the elementary school setting, which provides many opportunities and benefits such as like professional development opportunities, working in the school district, training, higher pay. So lots of benefits that come with this credential. For our program, it is a 45-unit program, again, post-bac. And during that, it's structured in 3 phases. So that first phase will consist of core requirement courses. The second phase will consist of methods, pedagogy courses. And then that last phase will consist of the student teaching. So student teaching will be completed during the last semester of the program. And it's student teaching in kindergarten to 3rd grade, and then there's student teaching in preschool and TK. As Wendy mentioned, something about our program is that we also have an online format or a hybrid format where candidates can complete the program in person, online, synchronous, and asynchronous. However, candidates will attend regularly in person. Another thing about our program is that it can be completed as a full-time or part-time student. So if completed as a full-time student, it'll be 1.5 years or 3 semesters long. And then the classes will be given in the evenings and on Saturday mornings, and that's to accommodate work schedules. We know lots of students who are working full-time. We do have scholarship opportunities available for PK3 candidates. We received a $11 million gift from Balmer Group to support PK3 candidates, so we will have those available as well. But yeah, we're really excited to begin our program in fall. Again, we'll have that first group of students who apply for the program. We do have the university application. The deadline for the university to apply is June 1st, and the program application on MyCED is July 1st. So this is something you're interested in applying for, you can always email me and I can share more about the application process as well. But yeah, we're very excited for this program.
Thank you, Georgina. So we'll pause here. Does anyone have any questions? You could either use the raise hand function on Zoom or just type in your questions so far. One credential we haven't reviewed yet is the single subject credential. But before we continue on, just wanted to make sure if anyone had questions, they could ask them right now.
I have a question. The last thing
Yes,
she said those deadlines to do that application, it's for what again?
it's for the PK3 credential for the post-bac. So that's if you already have a bachelor's degree and are planning to pursue this credential afterwards.
Got it. Thank you.
Yeah. So if for those that are planning to pursue your bachelor's degree at Cal State Long Beach, for example, if you're currently if you want to transfer in from like a community college or a CSU, the application for spring admission opens up August 1st through August 30th. And then the fall admission cycle opens up October 1st through November 30th. And this is for undergraduate degrees. I'm typing it in the chat. However, if you already have a bachelor's degree, that means you already graduated and are looking to just go back and get your teaching credential, then actually that deadline for our multiple subject credential, our education specialist credential, even our single subject credential is June 1st of this year. So June 1st to apply for the post-bac teaching credentials. So this allows students, especially a lot of our students who graduate this spring, so like in the next 2 weeks with their bachelor's degree, they still have time to apply by June 1st of this summer. So they could start in the fall semester and start their first semester, usually of prerequisite courses for the credential program of choice. Any other questions? Okay. If any other questions come up, feel free to add them on the chat. So now our single subject credentials. So far we've talked about elementary education, special education, early childhood, bilingual. But now we may have students who are interested in becoming middle school and high school teachers. So we do have our single subject credential program as a post-baccalaureate program, meaning a lot of our students already have a bachelor's degree in the area they would like to teach or in any area. And then they return or apply to Cal State Long Beach through the single subject teaching credential in a specific subject area. So this credential program is 45 units, about 9 courses, especially with student teaching their last semester. And you could complete this in 3 semesters. However, there are some students that are working full time, have other responsibilities or obligations, so that they can't commit to 3 semesters. So you actually have, I think for all of our post-baccalaureate options, except the urban dual, you have up to 7 years to officially complete the whole program. So some students, if they want to go part-time, just take 1 class at a time or 2 classes at a time, they can do so. And that way they could do it at their own pace, still work, but still prepare themselves through their credential program. So for our single subject credential, you have a variety of focuses that you could choose from. So a lot of our students, if they want, we have art, dance, English, health science, any of the world languages like Spanish, Japanese, German, French. We have mathematics, music, physical education, science like biology, chemistry, physics, general science, and then social science, which is traditionally known as history, but it's known as social science. So for any students interested in obtaining their credential in one of these areas, they pursue a single subject in one of these areas and complete the teaching credential in art or dance or so forth. And through that credential, again, they're learning how to teach this at the middle school and high school level. When it's student teaching time, we place the students at a middle school or high school, and then they're able to teach in another teacher's classrooms as well. So this is a post-bac option only. So if you are an undergraduate student at Cal State Long Beach pursuing your bachelor's degree in like biology, for example, or art or math, and you are considering the single subject credential, you can start taking some of the prereq courses. There's like 1 or 2 prerequisite courses you could do as an undergraduate student to get yourself ready. So once you graduate, you just reapply to the university and then apply to this specific program here on campus. We do have a minor, which I'll mention later, and how a lot of our students across CSULB, if they are in different majors, and are considering a teaching credential later on, we have an education minor that allows them to just get early on exposure and experience. So, if you're considering teaching middle school or high school, then the single subject credential will be the pathway for you. You just have to pick a specific subject here. For the multiple subject credential, that allows some students to teach in some of those elementary schools that go up to 8th grade or 6th, 7th, or 8th grade. There's some schools like that. However, if you just want to teach art or dance or English, just focus on one subject, then you'll pursue single subject and then teach at the middle school, high school, or even the older grades in those K-8 type of schools. I have a teacher friend, she's an art teacher at Long Beach Unified, but she's in one of those K-8 schools. So she has a single subject credential in art. She's an art teacher, but she's in those K-8 schools working with the older kids and teaching them the art for that school. So any questions, thoughts about our single subject credential and what this process might look like? Okay. Now I mentioned a minor. So a minor is like you take a few classes here at Cal State Long Beach in a variety of different subject areas that you're interested in. And then on your transcript, it just says that you have a minor in psychology or a minor in sociology or a minor in um, Latino studies or something like that. So we have a minor in equity and education studies that allows students from all the majors, all students here at Cal State Long Beach that are considering a teaching credential in the future. They're not sure yet. They're thinking about it, but through this minor, they are able to start being exposed to different educational issues in the TK to 12 setting. They have a chance to take one of these a field work course in the area they might consider teaching, like an elementary school setting, special education setting, or middle school and high school setting. So they take about 15 units, which is about 6 classes or so, 5 to 6 classes, depending on how many units that class is, and get their feet wet in education. They get connected through our college. They take these classes. Some of these classes are taken by our actual liberal studies students or credential students. So they start learning from other students already pursuing in general their teaching education courses. So if you are a undergraduate student here at Cal State Long Beach, we encourage you, especially if you're like in child development, any of the STEM like biology, physics, any major, except liberal studies because they're already in these classes in general, then we encourage you to add on a minor to your bachelor's degree. This will help you a lot just to get exposure and connected to our college. Now, a snapshot of all of the scholarships we've awarded in the past year um, to our College of Education students. So our post-baccalaureate students, which are those that are just pursuing their teaching credentials, we've awarded over $291,000. Our undergraduate students, which is actually just liberal studies, we've awarded $160,000. Even just ITEP, our integrated pathway grants, we have awarded about $103,000. So a lot of the funding that we do receive, donor, all of that, we give it to the students as scholarships because when students are in the field during observation hours, student teaching, that's done during the traditional time students will be working, and those are unpaid hours. So we find money for our students so that they don't have that burden of, I can't work, but I can't go back to school. So with all of this financial support, we're hoping that we can alleviate the stress of all of this. So all of these scholarships are actually our students apply internally through one application, and then from that one application, they get linked to all the scholarship they do qualify for, and then they're notified over the summer if they have the scholarships, and then it gets awarded for them for the next academic year. And of course, we always remind students to apply for financial aid as well, grants, and if needed, you don't have to take it, but if needed, loans. That's an option, but always aim for the grants and scholarships and working on campus, working off campus, working in the school districts as well. So here within the College of Education, we have a variety of student resources to support our current students, but of course also our prospective students. One is our Student Success and Advising Center. That's a one-stop shop for anyone, whether you are officially a Cal State Long Beach student or are thinking of applying in the future, you could get advising on obtaining your teaching credential. Here in the state of California, it's quite a lot of steps to become a teacher. So our advising center advises prospective students. So if you're considering coming to Cal State Long Beach or any of our credentials or our liberal studies undergraduate major, you could connect with our advisors over the phone, via email, or even stop by in person. Visit the campus, visit an advisor, and then talk to them about more the details of the program. They know more of the logistical things of how to apply for the programs, the classes. We do get a lot of students that have been working as teachers already. Maybe they've been working in private schools, but don't officially have a teaching credential yet. But they have all this experience. They talk to the advisors to see if that helps them in any way. And that's where the advisors will step in and advise them on what they need to do, the classes, applying, and so forth. And then we also have our Student Engagement Center here in the college. It's a center where all of our current students can come and hang out, meet with our peer mentors, our student ambassadors. Free printing is involved. And also that engagement center hosts a variety of support programs or workshops throughout the academic year to support our students, from wellness to career development here on campus. And also we have a variety of ways to get involved, whether you're within our college or you're a student in the liberal arts department, psychology, or so forth. We have a variety of student clubs on campus that will allow you not just to interact with other students, but also gain networking and experience, because a lot of our faculty oversee these programs. One that I would like to highlight is the Future Black Educators Club. So this one actually is a club that hires students of color to be able to not just meet on campus and get support through their credential program, but we work with the middle school through Long Beach Unified School District. So those students get early on practice with lesson planning, teaching our middle schoolers. We're working on getting a partnership with an elementary school so we could support our multiple subject students and so forth. So these are even paid opportunities and an opportunity for students just to start gaining experience, get some financial support, and get some networking experience as well, since a lot of our faculty oversee these clubs and the partnerships with the school districts in the area. And we also have Caminantes for Education and our Queer and Trans Future Educators. And our LSSAs, our Liberal Studies Student Association for our Liberal Studies students. Again, we have a variety of ways to get involved on the campus itself. So CSULB is a large campus. We currently have enrolled about 40,000 students this past academic year, fall and spring semester. So if you are hoping to attend Cal State Long Beach as an undergraduate student and you want to transfer in the springtime, the application opens up August 1st of this year. If you're in high school or know of a high school student that wants to apply to Cal State Long Beach or just transfer for the next fall of 2026, the application opens up on October 1st. But there is a variety of ways to connect with the campus. We have a variety of organizations that we have over 300 clubs active on our campus. We have Week of Welcome, where for 1 week, all the clubs are out and about in the quad area, and students have a chance for 4 days to connect with all the different clubs and students on campus. And other ways to connect, I always tell students, if you want to learn more, if CSULB has a club on child development, liberal studies, dance, salsa, whatever you might be interested in, see if CSULB has something to offer. We always encourage students to search, especially in the social media, on Discord, Facebook, Instagram. You can always, in the search function, type like CSULB, EOP, or CSULB dance, and then you will come across a lot of the public Instagrams. So you could have more of an insight and do your research on just student life. We have a variety of great academic programs, but we also have a great opportunities for student life, networking, and really enjoy your experience here at Cal State Long Beach. I myself am an alum of Cal State Long Beach. Get my undergraduate degree here and my master's, Georgina as well. And now we work here, so we've been here for a long time. But I really enjoy my experience here as a student back when I was a student here at CSULB and now as a staff member here on this campus. And it's beautiful. It's a public open space, so feel free to just come on the weekends and visit the campus, see the pyramid, visit the Japanese garden on our campus, see all the squirrels that roam around the campus as well. So of course you can stay connected with us. You can email us or you can call my office number and follow us on our Instagram accounts to be able to stay connected if you have questions. If you want a tour of the campus and just learn more about the programs and even talk to an advisor, we can set that up for you, especially over the summer. If in the summer, that's when you're considering CSULB and have more time to visit the campus, we're open during the summertime and can provide any campus tours or visits as well. So this concludes the presentation portion of today. Does anyone have any questions? I wanted to leave some time for any technical questions and so that we can support or answer any questions. So you can add them to the chat and or you can unmute yourself as well. And if you don't have any questions, you are free to go. Enjoy the rest of the afternoon, especially give yourself a break before joining the next sessions in the afternoon time. Yes, and then if you want also enter for the raffle survey, Nicole just added the link there. So don't forget to fill that survey out as well.